Hi, hello, and welcome to That Sounds Gay, a podcast for queer people and people who enjoy them, made by a homosexual with a lot of opinions that nobody asked for. My name is Jer, and I will be your podcast host for a short time with my sibling Jessie, where we will be chit-chatting about the second half of Drag Race Thailand Season 2. I am so jazzed that we finally are in this season. I've been looking forward to it for a while because, truthfully, we recorded this episode, I think, back in March or April. So I've been sitting on it for a while, just waiting for the day to release it. I'm so excited because this season jazzes me the hell up. I hope that one of you took the time to go and check out the season. If you did, please @ me on Twitter because God, I love this season so much. I am just itching for Thailand 3 to come out because I love Art and Pangina's dynamic so much. Thinking about this season and how spectacular the challenges and the lip syncs were, how they structure the show, the types of contestants they look for, the dynamics that happen. Everything feels like a really just and fair, righteous competition. And it really does feel like it's celebrating the art of drag and not the art of whoever the favorite is in this season. And I think it's such a refreshing change from the usual pace of Drag Race, where it really does kind of feel a lot like the pageant scene, where I'll be honest, I've only done, I think 2 pageants in my drag career when I was doing it. One pageant I felt like was really actually very fair, with the exception of one particular contestant, because this one contestant had been a fan favorite in a lot of bars and stuff, but had never done pageants before, had kind of a mediocre package, but was the winner of the evening. And there were a couple other girls that I thought did a lot better. Objectively, there were at least 2 other girls that I thought did much better than this particular contestant. This was years ago. So this is like no shade, no tea. There's no way to even research who this person even is. I barely even remember who they are at this point. But yeah, and then I did one other pageant, which really wasn't a pageant. It was a drag race style competition that was labeled as a pageant, but there was a lot of emphasis on what you were wearing. And, you know, I didn't really go out in nice clothes. I was shopping at the Goodwill and Ross, cross-dress for less for the most part. So I was going in with pretty low-key outfits and costumes every week. And I actually did quite well in that pageant because I had some really great concepts that I was going with. But every week it really felt like the people at the top were the judges' favorites. They were people that would hang out outside of the nightclubs. There was one contestant who lived with the host, and I thought, that's an eyebrow raise. And so things like that happen in the drag world, that happens in the queer world. Essentially, I mean, I don't think this is much different than any type of competition where people know each other, they're friends. It's hard to separate friendship from competition and from gaming. And I think it's very difficult for humans to shed their bias truly. But in Drag Race Thailand, regardless of if Art and Pangina know any of these girls, they would certainly never show it. They act very fair. They deliberate fairly. And they tell the queens to their faces when they don't like something and when they do like something. And that response is just really nice to see. A genuine, real, authentic reaction to drag. Not a sort of canned, let's make a joke and a bit about what you're wearing because we're trying to make a scene. We're making television. We're entertaining the masses. It's really about celebrating the art of drag down in Drag Race Thailand. And I love that. And I love what they're doing. And I cannot speak enough praise about this particular show. So please go check it out if you haven't already. We're going to get right on into this without any further ado. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you're enjoying this month of Pride. Make sure to stay fruity and stay fabulous. we left off on an
episode 4.
Yeah, we finished episode 4.
We need to.
We had so much to talk about in that first
We can
half.
trim the fat when we get to the finale.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some episodes that we can skip around.
We can just zoom right through. Episode 5 is where we left off, and it's called Hollywood Inspirations.
Yes.
We have to talk about the mini challenge because this was one of the most insane things. So the girls are challenged.
I want to know what you thought about this.
It's crazy. The girls are challenged to do like improv acting storyline of anything they want to do and pretend they're at a hotel. We had to lose the fashion challenges at some point. Like, I kept dreaming, like, okay, it's going to be fashion and runway and photo shoots. And then they're like, let's do improv.
This is, it's kind of more like the U.S. mini challenges.
Definitely.
But also, like, it's so chaotic.
Chaos, honey.
Because I think RuPaul would have it a lot more streamlined. Like, this is exactly what your prompt is.
Right.
And even then, I'm going to, like, spoon feed you what to do and say.
Right.
That's more RuPaul's tea. And this is more, and it's what you said, like, you're a guest at a hotel. Have fun.
Do whatever you want.
Go crazy.
I think Kana, like, shits. Right? She, like, is, like, doing a storyline of someone who's got a
the
poop.
agent of chaos,
Agent of chaos. And then Tormai was my favorite one. She, like, comes in pretending to be a sex worker who got some money. And she's like, she says, oh, I only got $20. But good thing I'm good at poker because I got 4K out of them.
Shit.
Died.
I feel like, but okay, that's like the kind of, I will say that is like early season energy of like, you can turn out like something really funny and stupid and memorable in just a mini challenge if you're funny enough. So, but I think that's like, there's just not enough. I think Thailand can do it because this is a funny and like crazy cast, but like, I just feel like it doesn't always work if the cast isn't like bombastic enough to like do it, but like,
or go there.
But you could put a season, like a challenge like this on season 3. And, like someone like Alexis Mateo would just chew it up.
That would be everything.
So it was kind of giving me that of like the girls who are funny and get it, or like something like on season 11, them like having to get into the club and then and what's her name? Raja. Girl, let me, it's a girl. Raja like eating it. Like it's that kind of energy of like, okay, well did she win Tormai?
Tormai did.
She was the funniest.
Because then she de-drags and like she gets a phone call and she's like, oh, sorry, you have to be picked up from practice? Yeah, I'm coming, honey. Don't worry, I'm coming right now. And like it's like a dad getting out of drag.
Soccer mom realness.
It's so
I'm getting in the minivan right now.
I was not expecting Tormai to do well at that.
Do you have your juice, sweetie? I'm coming.
But okay, so that is a huge mini. First off, doing improv.
So much energy in a mini.
So much. And then they find out the Maxi Challenge is an acting challenge, which I was so disappointed that we had an acting challenge. I was really hoping we wouldn't. It was a haunted dolls challenge, and one group was Team International, and one group was Team Thailand. And literally the international girls only spoke English. It was the weirdest thing in the whole world.
And does that feel like sabotage? Like,
kind of, because the English cast was funnier. I don't know if their script was better or if they just improv.
Which was so surprising.
Yeah, they were so fun. Jeannie was hilarious, but you know who was unexpectedly funny for all the wrong reasons? Srimala. In that insane...
I mean, doesn't that ring true so often?
She was in this insane psychotic, like, white makeup with the dark eyes, holding the knife and being like...
okay, because when you hear haunted doll challenge, Srimala is a haunted doll. Like, she's already given that. Yeah. So I was like, this is her challenge.
This is it. I'm so obsessed with this woman. I can't even lie to you. Okay, so what did you think about the fact that they actually got director notes before they actually did the challenge?
I feel like they just, in general, there's a difference of like, instead of like wanting the audience, trying to lead with making the audience know how to feel, they're just genuinely trying to help.
Yeah.
Because I feel like nowadays, like the directing that is given the guidance that is given is actually more panned to the camera and more for the audience. It's more them reacting to their performance like oh, do y'all see this shit?
Right.
But like this actually felt constructive and helpful, yeah?
Yeah, it felt like they were actually trying to make sure that they had a good show.
Which, like, I mean...
That's how it should be.
The acting challenge is not always the place where it's reflected, but I think the season in general reflects that. Like, stuff like the Rusical.
Right.
Like, the quality that's put out, it's very clear.
Right.
That they care about, like... Because I think they also, in my mind... They're like, well, we're repping international drag race. And at the time still, there's not a lot of other international drag races. It hasn't had the boom yet.
Right.
It's like, even if it is just a stupid haunted doll acting challenge, like, they want it to be good. They want to put out a good product. Because, like, the quality of the English script
was incredible. It didn't feel like it was written by AI.
Right. I'm like, why is the English script in Thailand better than the English script in America?
Yes, and they had a practical set, too. They weren't like...
Yeah, it's not the green screen madness. Was there any green screen throughout this whole season?
I don't believe they had a single bit of green screen. They did practical effects every time.
I love... And also, they just shoot it differently. We talked about this a little bit before, like, with the first season. They just shoot those acting challenges different.
Yeah.
More like a true TV show.
Yeah.
It reminds me of how they did season 6.
Yes.
Which again was a horror challenge, but they shot it more like a true trailer or movie, which I think made it more enjoyable. Because now it's literally just like wide shot or zoom in front of a green screen. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, like, is there no budget this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the main challenge. It was very odd, but it wasn't cringe.
No, it was
the least cringe acting challenge I've ever seen. But I think it helped that the script was kind of easy. Like, 2 ladies are in a house for some reason. We don't know why. And then there are dolls that come to life and try to kill them.
Yeah.
That's simple. That's not complicated.
It felt like a good, like, Shudder horror movie plot.
Yeah.
You know?
Like a little C-plot movie.
Yeah, maybe a Goosebumps episode.
Very Goosebumps coded. We get to the runway and it's Hollywood inspirations.
Hollywood in my heart.
Hollywood in my heart, yeah. We had some of the weirdest things in the universe. Connor was dressed up as Darth Vader and Voldemort.
Okay, do you know what the first thing I wrote down was?
What's that?
Is Beyonce Hollywood? Do you think Beyonce is Hollywood?
Not really.
I mean, she's an American icon.
Right.
But she's not Hollywood. She did that one movie. Because when I hear Hollywood, I think movie and TV.
She did do movies. She was
beat
Nala.
She
beat up Ellie Larder. Yes. Honey, I'm going to have to call you back. Yeah. Snaps the phone together.
Yeah.
Throws her through the
Iconic.
ceiling. Obsessed. That was a great movie.
But yeah, who did you just talk about? Oh my god, Kana.
Kana's
sleep paralysis demon. Okay, and also what's crazy about it is because she's Darth Vader and Voldemort.
Yeah.
And first of all, I knock points off of her and was it Bandit who did 3 of them?
Yeah.
I do one reference first of all.
Yeah.
But
I think they had to do a dual look because Vanda did Breakfast at Tiffany's and Betty Boop.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm misspeaking. No, you're right. It was a dual look. But what?
I think.
But with hers, it was Darth Vader and Voldemort, and it was literally a lightsaber and Voldemort makeup.
The worst makeup.
And then black. Yeah, we don't even want to talk about that.
It was so
Florida
crunchy.
Man, she was not. Which also, okay, speaking of which, was it referencing that?
Maybe.
Because I feel like that would have lined up timeline-wise.
Maybe.
For anyone who doesn't know, search Florida Man, Dangerous Woman. First of all, Florida Man is such a genius drag name. This is a drag queen or drag performer. I don't know if they're a queen. They're a performer. Their name is Florida Man. And they do a lip sync of Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande. As Voldemort. In like lingerie or like a sexy look. I'm pretty sure this is what she's doing.
It would have been recorded probably around 2018 because it aired in 19.
Interesting.
I'm
curious because I feel like it was very that.
Yeah.
But it was just like a black sexy look with Voldemort face and a lightsaber. Because if you took the lightsaber away, Darth Vader
It was not.
Where?
It was just the lightsaber. We have to bring up a very important runway because it's foreshadowing for the next episode. And that's Miss Kim Hui, who comes out with this really fucking cool scooter bike.
Oh, the Ghost Rider,
It was
right?
the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Oh my gosh, wait, yeah, this is
very important.
Look.
This is very, very, very important.
Take note.
Take note, listeners. There's a really cool, look it up, Ms. Gimhue bike, Thailand 2.
Yeah.
The coolest look I've ever seen on Drag Race. And, I mean, it was a gag. I was like, this is it.
And what I enjoy about it, too, that's fun, is, like, it has Dragula energy of when you zoom into the bike, you're like, oh, I can tell she made this.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that it's not, like, a perfectly sculpted, professionally made piece. Like, you see the handiwork in it. You see, like, where there's a little duct tape, where there's a little, like, glitter. But I like that.
I did, too.
Because I feel like it sells the fantasy.
It feels more real to me.
And then, is it her wig that's the flame?
Yeah, she looked sick.
The flame effect with the orange, that it's like, it's because it's all like the silver and the black, and then that pop of orange, it's so sick.
Hot. So this point here is a string of insane events for the next, I'm going to say 4 episodes.
So like, it's crazy.
They announce the team winners, and they say that it's the English-speaking team. And Art says that Angelique should be in the bottom 2, but she was on the winning team, so it wouldn't be fair. I think they should have done it anyway, because she was terrible and her runway wasn't that good.
Yeah, they don't really care about that in U.S. Drag Race.
No. They stick Maya Biharo and Kana in the bottom. And the lip sync is foul. It's so wretchedly bad. And Art's pissed off face, like, she looks like she's sucking on poop. Like, legitimately, like, on hot diarrhea the whole time.
I feel like they also get more offended when it's not, like, a U.S. song.
Yeah.
Because, like, they do a lot of, like, really big name, by the way. Like, they either do RuPaul or, like, fucking Beyonce or something. But I feel like you're given a little more lenience when it's a song like that. When it's, like, a big, like, club number. But I feel like whenever it's, like, a song that's, like, it's in your native language... and it seems like the ones they pick usually are known and culturally significant.
Yeah.
Because, like, España is the same, where, like, if there's it's mostly RuPaul songs. If there's a Spanish song on España, is because the country loves that song.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like sometimes they're like, they're fucking up this song.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Art is like, I love this song.
Right.
I was listening to this in the car on the way here.
Right. She looks pissed.
But it was a rough lip sync.
It was like Vivian and Honey bad, is what I wrote in my notes. It was terrible. And Art eliminates both of them.
Yes.
And tells Kana that the reason why she's going home is because it was her 3rd lip sync and she was tired of seeing her lip sync. Like, I love you can't do it again. And I'm like, that is what I'm here for. But you know what's funny is she doesn't do that to Vanda or to Shrimala.
Well, and because, I mean, to be fair, it could have been her 3rd lip sync and she could have, like, done something groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing it on US right now. So you could still, like, really, like, gag the girlies, but she did not gag the girlies.
No, and dressed as Voldemort, Darth Vader, it was awful.
I mean, what can you do looking like that? I think that's the thing, too, is because, like, she looked like that on top of it.
Right. And she didn't have any opportunity to do a stunt, because that first lip sync, she, like, rolled her eyes under the back of her head, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And then lip sync 2, she does, like, the cyanide poisoning and foams at the mouth. Like, that's such a cool gag. And then to just do the song.
Yeah.
Like, with no
to
gag.
actually just have to perform.
To perform with no gags, no gimmicks.
No prop.
So, just like that, we go from 10 to 8. All right? This is important, listeners, if you haven't seen this season. Then we get into Power of Speech, where Art and Pangina, I want to talk really quick about how they come in the workroom, because they did the swapped looks.
Oh,
they looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Pen was acting so old, and I loved that she, like, came out, like, wobbling.
Twisted, rotted.
Dark-sided. They do the reading challenge.
With special guests, right? Or is that later?
Later.
The girlies.
This reading challenge was, it was fine.
I don't remember much. It's also hard because, like, sometimes I'm like, is it lost in translation? Is it funnier? Is there, like, a word play that I'm missing?
Yeah.
Because also sometimes I don't feel like Thailand translating is as egregious, but sometimes they try to like translate the joke to be funny in
like
English,
what it was supposed to be,
or they'll just translate it literally. But regardless, I don't think that was happening here. But
no,
but sometimes it's just like, is this funny?
Yeah.
But I also felt this with coming up a little later. Some of the Snatch Game, I'm like, is this funnier to y'all?
Right? Is our humor just different? I think it does not help that half the girls speak English and half the girls don't.
Disjointed.
Yeah, so it's like you're having to really beat around the language bush.
Yeah, because I'm connecting to the English immediately.
Right.
So then whenever I don't hear English, I'm like, wait, okay, and then I'm reading, I'm like, oh, okay.
There's dissonance for us, so I can imagine what it's like for Thai people too, who are like, the English doesn't make sense to me. But the one joke that I wrote down that I thought was really funny was Jeannie saying, if gluing costumes was a talent, you'd have one talent. That was great.
I love Jeannie for that.
That was wonderful. So the Maxi Challenge is a live show in pairs, and they have to interview the top 3 from the previous season. Tormai gets to pair everybody up, and she's really malicious, literally putting people who don't speak the same language with each other. English girls with Thai girls.
Maybe she was pissed about what we were just talking about, the English and Thailand mixing. That is malicious, though. I mean, Shady, she won the reading challenge. So Shady, speaking of which, do you remember any of her reads? No. I was trying to remember any of her reads.
I don't remember a single one, and I didn't write them down.
Tormai is funny to me because, like, I don't really notice her until she does something really slay, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
I forget she's there.
She's super sorry, girl.
She's
sorry.
forgettable.
I know she's listening. I'm sorry, Tormai. I know I'm so sorry to say this. I know you've been listening every week. Girly, sister. But yeah, she's like, and sometimes she does have moments where she'll come through and like have a moment, and then I remember she's on the cast, but otherwise I'm like, don't they? Who?
Right. Thank you for spilling.
Kudos for
you for saying that. But yeah, the whole challenge is really awkward. But what did you think of this like reprise of the season 6 interview challenge, but as duos?
It's hard to say I didn't like the duos because they were set up to fail,
literally.
Right? Because I was gonna
literally set them up to fail.
I was gonna say I would have liked if they all had a chance to do it on their own. But maybe also it just could have been some of them needed better duos. But I personally, I think there's different ways to do it because I don't know if 2 is the vibe. Maybe do like a view. Or like, is that the one with the women?
Yeah,
is that the one with Whoopi?
The Whoopi one.
I love women, don't you? I think 2 is kind of awkward in my opinion. I would prefer if it's either 1, like season 6, or like a panel style talk show where you have multiple women, and then that's more of an opportunity to like really like fight for attention and like produce good conversation. But
especially when you're interviewing 3 people.
Because then, it gets too crowded. Because then also I think it's chaotic of like, okay. And again, that's why I think it's awkward with 2 because it's awkward if it's 2 people trying to interview 1 person.
Right.
But then it's also awkward when 2 people are trying to interview multiple people because they're trying to both have their moment, both shine, bounce with each other, also give the multiple guests,
right,
the crowd,
and the multiple English barriers because it seemed like only one of the top 3 spoke English.
Oh, yeah.
So when like she was the only one that could answer the English questions.
Yeah, when you have like, and you have 1 English host.
Yeah,
it's just
it was a mess. It was so hard to watch because they're literally set up to fail. And it was Tormai's fault, which I mean is great strategy to make sure that you knock somebody out. Like no matter what you do, someone strong is going to end up in the bottom because of what you did.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much set to skate through the challenge. So it's great strategy. And like I almost kind of like this better because it's not production fucking things up. It's the girls.
It's genuinely like she threw a wrench in things. Because I will say like it was kind of it could have gone. I'm sure it could have gone well.
Yeah.
Because I mean we've seen plenty of like funny duos and stuff. Yeah. So I'm sure we could have seen a lot better like banter and just like inner like working with each other.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
It was so bad. It was so bad. The runway category is Miss Star of the Galaxy, and they have to do specifically a gown category in intergalactic pageant. What did you think about this runway?
You know, a lot of them did end up looking a bit similar to
Very
me, not
much
to
so.
drag. I love the idea. Well, and I love the idea of like it's a pageant plus something.
With the interview questions.
Yeah, like, well, yes.
And on top of it being the galaxy queen. Like, you're not just representing your place, you're representing the galaxy, too.
It's kind of a more fun thing of, like, Canada, it was the first season. They did the Little Miss pageant,
right.
where, like, it's a pageant, but there's a theme, there's a twist.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was trying to say, is, like, I like that they are doing what is really such a core drag
thing
that isn't featured a lot on Drag Race. Like Drag Race pageant is also different. It's a lot more grueling.
Yeah.
but like that little flavor of like what is a huge like part of drag world and glamour world. Like so many gays and queer people and like trans people are inspired by the pageant world and and like the Miss Universe and all that. So I think it's fun to do like a campy, like twisted, fun version of it. And I think that space is like, it lends itself to very grand looks.
Yeah.
That some of them do right.
I simp every week, but fucking Vanda. Beautiful gold.
Well, and it helped because most of them did like silver or white or like creams. A couple did black, but she was the only gold.
Yeah, and she did that big like Queen Amidala hair that was all scooped up in like almost like a faux mohawk. Yeah. And during their interview, I wrote down specifically what she said because they ask her a question and about how like drag has changed like who she is.
Yeah.
And she answers that when she's in drag, all these queens put on this face and they go out and they perform really confidently, but then they go home and they're alone and they don't have anybody there and they're stuck with themselves. And it was so emotional and so impactful because I think so many entertainers across the board, not just drag queens, understand that of like putting so much of yourself out there on the stage and then you're just alone in your thoughts when you're not on the stage. She
really put her foot in this challenge. And also to see it from someone like her, which is such like a visually, she seems like such an impenetrable, like strong, like fierce character.
Yeah.
So to see such like vulnerability and like I want to ask you just in general your thoughts on this Q&A segment because I really like this format.
Yes.
I feel like Drag Race should do it more because you're getting that vulnerability. You're getting and it depends on how they answer, but like you can get a moment of like really good vulnerability like that, or you can get like some of the more like comedic answers that some of the other girlies give. But it's also like you're kind of testing improv. You're getting personality. You're getting their flavor.
Seeing how well spoken they are.
Yeah, I think this was actually... I did really enjoy this format for a challenge because I think you get to see a lot of sides of a queen.
Yeah, and my favorite part of it was that the queens got to ask a judge of their choice for a question.
Yes.
So I'm curious if each one of the judges just had different cards or like if they all had the same card and it just whoever they chose would ask the question. But they got to choose who they wanted to be asked from. So if they wanted to be asked, I think Pangina could too. But another one of the guest judges, that beautiful Miss Universe. I don't know. I can't remember her name.
Oh my God. In the red?
In the red. Yes. And she had that beautiful pageant hair.
She was
and then that sexy game show host dude. He was so hot. He was daddy as fuck. And they got to ask which one, and I thought that was really nice.
I will say it was so weird that they were like in space, and then the judges panel was red, white, and blue. Was it just me? I was so confused. Well, because also you hear power of speech, and you see the panel, and you're like, oh, it's a political challenge.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, oh, it's. I mean, like there's political. I mean, I guess a lot of the pageant world is quite political, but I was expecting more like a Frock the Vote esque challenge. So I was the juxtaposition made me laugh and also the panel was so colorful, and then the queens were all in like black and silver,
sparkly space stuff. I have to say, I'm sorry to this woman. Pangina looked awful. Those, like, blue eyebrows that went up to her temples and that horrid blue hair. And then the lip that was wrong.
That wig was atrocious.
The whole look was bad. They even booted it at the finale. They said it was one of the worst looks of the season. And I agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough all around, to be frank.
The bottom two is Srimala and Mocha Diva, and we were just watching that lip sync.
Just talking about
Srimala has this big ass wig that's literally like a globe on her head. It's that big. It was so disrespectful to make her lip sync to that number, which is like da 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 da, and it's just like, girl, you can't move around in that hair. But she like supports it with her one arm and is just like holding on to it, shimmying, and then that one titty move where
doesn't someone have a voiceover like she's just like pooching out this lip sync or whatever, like, and it was true, like she was just like do.
I love Srimala so
she really
so much. In her interview she sang a really weird song, and this was the moment, because up until this point I thought Srimala was kind of this weird like gremlin walking around the room over smiling and smizing everywhere. And then this episode, I was like, I get it. I'm obsessed and I'm so here for it.
It's one of those, like, I feel like her in this episode, it's hard to describe, but it's kind of like you lost the episode, but you won it. Like,
yeah.
You did really bad, but you're so memorable and so, that'll do. It's very that.
Very, very that. What was it? CC Superstar?
CC Superstar.
Yeah, so Mocha Diva gets eliminated.
Yeah.
Bitch, this is where it gets crazy. Okay, so she
stops. Buckle up.
Buckle up, bitches. She fully stops and says, can I say something?
Because we already just loved Mocha Diva so much.
Right.
Sorry.
Drag her through the mud. She's like, can I say something? I didn't want to say anything before, but one of the contestants is cheating, and I want to protect the integrity of the competition. That this person went and brought something back to the hotel when they're supposed to work on it here. And they're like, who? And she says, it's Miss Kim Hui. She brought her scooter back to the hotel. She wasn't supposed to do that. We're all supposed to have our supplies here. And they make her leave. And presumably they were talking with production about what to do. Because they call her back out on the stage and she's halfway out of drag. She's in like basketball shorts and a tank top, hat, like fully de-dragging. And they're like, hey, Miss Kim Hui, did you really do this? And she says, yeah, I brought it back and I know that I shouldn't have. And I know that it's against the rules, but I wanted to get it done and I wanted it to be cool, so I did it. And they say, okay, well, then you're disqualified and you have to go home. And then the gagger is that Pangina yells at Mocha Diva and says, why didn't you just do this last week? And she's like, well, I didn't want to stir up drama. And Pangina cuts her up and is like, but you're stirring up drama now.
I loved
and
it.
It's like, and then Art says, or maybe it was Pangina, says that people are going to look at you like a sore loser now. That you lost and then decided to drag somebody else down.
Yeah.
And this bitch has the audacity to say, well, I just wanted to give this gift to my sisters of a fair competition. And Pangina's like, that's not a gift. You're literally creating drama here and making yourself look bad. And that's how people are going to remember you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like a really butt kick moment that Rue would never do.
Yeah, and they just like really would not let her have the last say on the narrative, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me feels like they also just liked Kim Hui and were kind of bummed. I thought she was gonna win. I think part of it is a little bit of anger of like, I wish I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't she mention that? But I think they are right. Like, if she was genuinely concerned about it, she would have brought it up at the start of the following challenge or something, or just when it became, aware to her. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it did just seem like, oh, well, if I'm here, like, blah, blah, blah.
If I'm going home, then I'm taking somebody else with me.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I understand being, like, upset, but why wouldn't you bring it up in the moment? I don't get it. But just like that, we're down from 8 to 6. And, bitch, we're in episode 6, and there are 13 episodes total. We are not. We are halfway through the season, and there's still 6 episodes left.
This is really
There's a top 6.
This is really where things get buck
It's
wild.
insane. So then the next episode is called Food Lover. We're in top 6.
This episode came out on my birthday.
Did it?
It did.
Oh, that's cute. This was such an interesting challenge, and I wrote down in my notes mozzarella sticks because while they were eating all this delicious food, I was literally snacking on soggy mozzarella sticks.
I was like, did someone make their portrait out of mozzarella sticks?
No.
I don't remember that one.
So, what did you think about the practical night market set that they build? Because they build this huge soundstage as a night market with a river flowing through it,
So
with
extra.
grass, with boats,
So
and baskets
much.
of food. Like real food.
So much.
Drag Race would never.
I live. I mean, I think I talked
live.
I kind of allude to it with the acting challenges, but like practical's always better. And like it's
Absolutely.
giving like micro top model.
Very, very top model vibes.
Because it's almost like you're on location.
Yeah.
And like with Drag Race now, you can't really go on location because, you know, life is crazy and like you'll be spotted immediately.
Right. They thought I was Jada Pinkett Smith out here.
Yeah. But to create that
So sorry.
but to create that elaborate set for not much.
No.
For not much at all.
No, the mini challenge is just to make a painting. Like a
Like
self-portrait
they didn't
or
need
something.
to
With food.
If this was US, they just would have had the pit crew come in with baskets of fruit and veggies.
Remember they did the pancake challenge in 10. And they had to make those pancakes.
If you listen to our season 10 review, no, I do not remember the pancake challenge because we don't talk about
It's the way that we hated season 10.
Yeah.
But they did that pancake challenge, and I thought maybe that was what inspired this.
Yeah.
It was really frivolous and silly.
I feel like they just wanted to make that set.
Yeah, they just wanted to make it, and they wanted to make a night market. But I mean, I couldn't imagine this with 2 more girls in it, because theoretically this should be top 8. And it already felt really crowded in the room with the 6 of them making portraits. Ooh. Oh.
Sorry if the mic heard
I
that.
think maybe it caught it just a little bit. It should be fine. But yeah, it was like kind of just frivolous and silly. And then they go back and there's this beautiful, sexy chef that is cooking in the workroom, making food with a full station camp.
I love that the whole episode is just like food.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's all food inspired. And so this guy makes stir fry, pad thai, and green curry for them. Literally just caters for them. They get to eat the food and experience it. And when they're done, the winner of the mini challenge, which was Angelique, gets to choose what dish she wants to be inspired by, and then lets the other girls have some food that she chooses. And to me, this felt very much like Project Runway vibes.
Yeah.
How they'd be like, okay, you're going to go out into the city and watch a play. And then you're going to come back and make an outfit based off that. It was such a cool idea.
Well, and like, I did love that, like, I guess it also connected, like, the night market into this. It's very much like setting the scene for the runway. So it's kind of like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
It's one of the first challenges, because I feel like even last week with the Hollywood Inspiration, or 2 weeks ago, I feel like even that didn't really totally work all the way through with the acting challenge, but this whole theme and through line of being food, only to make an outfit based off a meal, was so smart. But Angeli chooses a solo dish for herself. She chooses green curry, and then sticks Vanda, Tormai, and Srimala on pad thai. And she specifically gets red on the runway for not having anybody to be compared to. But they still give her the win, I think. Yeah. She still gets the win, which is crazy.
Did you think she had the winning look? Well, I guess we'll get to that.
Not really, but we'll get into that. So...
Because, yeah, it makes sense. It's weird that it's 1, 3, and 2.
Yeah.
It seems like it was designed to be...
2, 2, 2.
2, 2, yeah.
But she wasn't told she couldn't, so...
Well, because, yeah, I guess she wanted to be the star of the green...
She specifically says that.
But I guess you also could be shady and, like, the girl you think would be the worst at it. Or the girl you think is most different to you. Like, if I was her, you could give it to someone like Srimala. Just because, you know, stylistically, it's going to be a totally different interpretation.
Right.
So you're not in danger of being, like, outdone by her because it'll be, you know, a different vibe.
Right. What did you think about being inspired by food to make an outfit? What would you do?
I mean, well, it's already been done, but the first thing I think of is, what's her name? Manila's spaghetti dress.
Oh, yeah. That dress was everything.
There's another version of that, which you'll see it when you get to Philippines. Season 2, one of my favorite queens, Hannah Beshi. She does a ramen look, but it's all just kind of like flappery fringe.
That's really fun.
It was really cute. I really enjoyed that look. So something that probably something noodly.
Yeah.
Something noodly, spaghetti like that.
I feel like the key to this challenge is doing a really simple silhouette.
Yeah.
And not trying to overcomplicate it. Like, I think about the Hello Kitty ball in particular, where Violet did like the simple bathing suit silhouette, but then built upon it with the exaggerated hips and the big headpiece, where people like Kennedy and Katya just made a bodysuit and then stuck shit on it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. And we saw in this one that there was a lot of bad looks. A lot of really awful interpretations of their food.
And I think the thing with a food runway, I really like the international seasons do more food runways, I would say, than the US seasons.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Why haven't we done that?
Espana has done several. And I think what makes it successful is like having the elements of the food immediately like visually recognizable, but then still making it like pretty. So like the look I'm trying to find, if you can, it's this one on the top, my girly, my favorite, Paquita. She actually, we'll get to it. She reminds me a lot of Vanda. She did a fried egg, and you can see her.
That's so fun.
If you saw it head on, yeah, she's wearing an orange wig with a little bang that trails off of a white hat, and then she's just wearing a white outfit. So it's the yoke. Yeah.
That's so smart. Yeah, Angeli does this like cow look, and she just does the cow makeup because she was doing a beef look. And I thought that was an intelligent way of tackling that.
It was. At first I thought she was doing like
Winnie Harlow.
Yeah, Winnie Harlow.
Yeah, that's what Pangina thought.
Yeah.
She yells, "Oh, it's Winnie Harlow." And then she's like, "No, I'm a cow."
Right. But what did you feel about, to me it's just giving loofahs and edamame. Like, I don't know about you.
I did not like
I saw zero glamour at this year's drag con. Say what you will.
Okay, Gia Gum.
Because I really like the headpiece.
Yeah.
I think it's a little flat looking, but I like the headpiece. But I feel like it's quite simple, and I don't love it.
Yeah, I didn't really like anything. The one that I liked the best was Srimala, and Pangina specifically tells her that she turned things around. It was so disappointing. I'm like,
Srimala's is absolutely my favorite. I mean, they're all decent. I think my least favorite is Bandit. I think Bandits is probably like
I did not like Jeannie's either.
Jeannie's was a little diabolical. The tampons on the skirt.
It's just too literal. Like, when you are inspired by food, you should be looking at color palettes. You should not be looking at shapes.
Jeannie's looked like she was like a mascot. Like, you know what I mean?
Or an egg restaurant.
Like she was like yeah. Because it was just so like big and like puffy that it was giving mascot to me. But
she gave up the whole challenge. She was fully like, oh well, it's a sewing challenge. Like, it's over for me. I'm in the bottom. Bye. I'm out.
Because I feel like if you want to do it literal, do it like kitschy literal, like Srimala did. Where it's like almost like she's the dish on the plate. You know.
And I loved her little fish sauce perfume, because she came out with the bottle of fish sauce and like dabbed it on her fingers and then dabbed it on her neck and was just like luxuriating in the fish sauce. And I'm like, that's how you do it, bitch.
She gave like that. Yeah, she seems so like glam and like, and that's also, she seems so into her look, which I think sells it. I loved how she seemed really confident in it.
Right. I think too, Angeli not having anybody to compare her to, it's like, were you that good in your category? It's like the UK 2 runway where they both had the same fabrics. Like, if one of them is the only one with green, how do you know that it was that good?
Right.
You can't compare.
And that's the thing, is that of all of the dishes, that's probably the one I would have liked to have seen more of.
Right.
I hated the prawns.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, like, I love Vanda, but I liked her it was very Bjork.
Vanda's it was a little
interpretation, but I just don't think the prawns were attractive as a aesthetic prompt. Tormai's reflected the worst of it. Like, it was just gross, like seeing the little like pieces, the little really prawn disgusting pieces.
There were some gross elements to these that I did not think were good design choices, and I think they just tried to do a little bit too much. And I mean, Art felt the same way because she sticks Tormai, Jeannie, and Vanda in the bottom to lip sync, and I love that she doesn't fuck around. She's like, you were bad and you're not going to get away with it.
Yeah. Okay, but speaking of getting away with being bad, why wasn't Bandit in the bottom?
Honestly.
I feel like Bandit should have been there instead of Vanda. I know, apologists for her because we love her.
I love Vanda.
But I feel like she did better.
Her concept was a dinner party, and so she has a tray table around her waist where she's presenting the food.
I'm telling you to put up your tray tables.
We don't do. Yeah, it was like such a... It wasn't a great silhouette, but it wasn't bad at the same time.
From
like
straight on, it looks decent.
Right. But like silhouette-wise, it's gross. I didn't like really any of these, I'll be honest. I think the only one that I liked was Srimala, and that was me trying not to be an apologist for her, but I didn't hate Vanda's.
Yeah.
So the lip sync happens, and Vanda is such an incredible performer. She pops her hip and starts swiveling, and Pangina literally goes like, ah, 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 ah.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, she won. Like, if you can get Pangina, someone who all season has been yelling, do better, fight for it. Go out there, fight, fight, fight. And then, like, Pangina's just losing her shit over Vanda, like, popping and swiveling her hip, throwing her pussy all over that stage, and, like, pointing, like, staring at how messy the others were.
Yeah.
Because, like, Jeannie starts throwing stuff at them. Like, she pulls out a candy box or something and starts throwing shit.
I hate when
and
we
then
throw things.
Tormai is, like, eating something out of a box and isn't lip-syncing because she's chewing.
Yeah.
And Vanda's just, like, staring at them lip-syncing and is just like, what, are you okay?
Tormai's was... Yeah, Tormai chewing and not lip-syncing was too much. And also just, like, it's one of those looks where her and Jeannie both... Yeah, her and Jeannie both. Those are like the kind of looks where you could give your best performance and you still would look bad. Like between like their wigs and like just what they were wearing, the colors they were in, like you already look bad. So then you giving like a subpar performance on top of that.
Yeah.
Whereas with Vanda, like, because at first you're nervous because she's wearing a dress initially.
Yeah.
She's wearing a floor-length dress. You're like, is she gonna be able to turn it?
Right. God, that lip sync was
so
so good. I lived, girl. I lived. So Jeannie gets cut.
Do you think it should have been her and Tormai?
Yes. But we couldn't go to top 4 already.
Oh, yeah.
We go to top 4.
That's like the only reason why Tormai didn't get eliminated, right?
She should have gotten eliminated too. They were both awful. And Vanda, like, dog walked them. I need Vanda to be on the next Versus the World season. Like, the fact that she has not been is crazy to me. Because she, of anybody from this season, deserves it. In my opinion, she would eat.
Well, spoilers. Why didn't they bring the 2 girlies back and then top 7 for Snatch Game? Does that make more sense, too? Because isn't 5 for Snatch Game kind of weird?
5 for Snatch Game is tiny, and that's what we go into next. We're in literally top 5 of the competition, and we are in... fucking Snatch Game right now. In episode 8, there is no mini, it's just the maxi, and it's Snatch Game of Love, which I wrote yuck.
Yuck. Which, like...
They had no prep. It was like they were literally told, it's Snatch Game today, and they go straight there. Art and Pangina are wearing the same outfits they walked in the workroom in.
It was so weird. It kind of almost felt like, oh, we have so many girls gone. Like, should we do it like Snatch Game of Love? Like in All-Stars? Because it's only 5? Like, should we just do it today?
It felt so rushed. It was quick, and I didn't love that it was Snatch Game of Love, but what I did love is that they did the celebrity runway before.
I loved it.
They would come out of a limo.
That little, like, it was kind of like a photo shoot moment.
Yeah.
It was kind of, it was cunty.
What All-Star season did they do that in? Was that 4?
I was trying to remember that. Yeah, what season they have. Because I think it's kind of fun to, like, introduce them.
Right. Like, here are your celebrities. It's this person. Or was it All-Stars 3? I do not recall which one it is, but we'll go through each one of them really quick. Bandit is doing Ma or Napa. And she comes out of the car saying, or I think one of her first lines is, I didn't get surgery. I went to Korea and fell, and then a doctor fixed it. And I thought that was hilarious.
Okay, well, also, I have to say, I love that it's a bunch of Thai celebrities, and then Cardi B. It's Cardi B and locals,
It's so weird.
like this mix of celebrities, because it's like, it's because I didn't, because some people do kind of like cater to the American audience with their choice, but I think Cardi B is probably, I'm sure that people were memeing her over there as well. Like, I feel like her character is kind of a universal, like, that's funny,
right?
But
it just was like doing all like the nail clacking and the eels, it was but just, like none of it was funny.
Yeah,
it was just a good interpretation.
It was just like so silly to me that it was like all of these like these more like local celebrities. I don't mean local like that, but
like
I'm trying
Thai
to think,
celebrities, the countrywide celebrities,
and
then
Cardi B. It was such a funny lineup to me, as you were saying the celebrities. Sorry, but
it was like Nymphia doing Jane Goodall. Like, there's all of these people that are well known, and then Queen of the Monkeys, Jane Goodall.
Up in the corner.
Yeah. Anjali does someone named Betanika. Srimala does someone named Sophia La, who was the funniest character in the whole Snatch Game. Because this person's whole thing is that they pronounce everything wrong. And so Srimala's like talking and then mispronounces a word. And the other girl's like, no, it's pronounced this way. And she goes, okay, so the bad pronunciation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to, like, what? I need a random word. Inspiration. She's like, inspo-ration. And they're like, it's inspiration. Inspiration.
With this guy.
And just, like, keeps
with this, like,
in.
confident yet equally, like, kind of empty look. Like, she was so funny. And, like, even, like...
She stops to randomly sing.
The second she got out of that limo,
it was chaos.
Like seeing her in the look, the way she stood, like her posture, and like
it was the most chaotic Snatch Game I have ever seen. Yeah. But then Tormai is doing some TV show interview or some like news interviewer and has a helicopter that she flies around the Snatch Game set. Like literally flying around her roving helicopter and being like, "Oh, we're getting news from the sky."
Yeah,
and Pangina and Art are just cackling the whole time, and it was chaos.
And she has like she's a prop queen, because she had helicopter headset.
Yes.
She had a headset with a mic. She had a microphone, and their headset had a mic too. She had two mics. She had
Did one of the girls eat something too? Like one of the girls had a plate of food they were eating.
I can't remember.
I think it was Bandit was eating something. It was the weirdest thing in the entire universe. And then Vanda the whole time is just yelling at everybody about how their jokes aren't funny and how they're stupid. It was the craziest, most manic thing I've ever seen in my life.
Snatch Game of Love. Yeah, they weren't giving much to love. Who's Snatch Game of Love? Who's the Bachelor? Was there a Bachelor, or was it just Snatch Game of Love?
There was a Bachelor. Hold on, did I write him down? No, I don't think I wrote him down. He was just some guy.
So weird.
He was cute. He was a cute guy.
Well, because he wasn't on the panel. That was the thing. So that's what also made it feel weird, is because, like, the Snatch Game of Love hosts, well, in general, whoever moderates Snatch Game, unless nowadays they have the pit crew do it, but whoever moderates Snatch Game is...
on the judging panel.
The judging panel.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Thailand does it different, but it was kind of like it kind of threw me off that he didn't make it to the end.
Yeah. I did appreciate that they didn't do a lot of the cringe music, because they could have easily put cringe sound effects and made that whole thing the most impossible thing to watch.
I think they don't go as ham on that with Thailand in general, though, because I think Snatch Game is one of the most egregious examples of editing, like sound-wise. The sound editing and sound engineering on Snatch Game is crazy.
Crazy. The runway is something also disjointed from the chaos of Snatch Game, and it's cover and reveal. So they have to make like a robe from scratch and then reveal it into lingerie.
Yes.
And Vanda talks about her eczema and how she doesn't show skin very often because she's very subconscious about her body. And can I be so honest? I did not realize that Vanda was covered all season.
Yeah.
I feel like there are some queens who get on Drag Race who you're like, you've been wearing the same silhouette every week. You're always wearing the same colors. You're always in the same inspo. But like Vanda, I literally had to think, like, has she never worn anything that showed body before?
And I think it's like also, I mean, I personally am never like, I want to see more body from her. Like, I never, like, from queens in general.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never like, oh, I want to see their ass out. Sorry. They were taking, I almost made them choke on their tea. But it's like, because so many queens do that already. And I feel like a lot of and I think it's harder to pull off because of our stylistic norm and how we're trained to perceive drag.
Right.
I think it's a lot harder to pull off the covered up look that she does.
Yeah.
Because she usually, I mean, she does do a lot of like full sleeve, like column dress kind of vibe, and like
with gloves, typically high boots, like everything is covered. When if she's not covered, she's got like those shiny tights, and like she had last week.
Yeah, and that can easily run the risk of being a little like matronly or like or just like not fashiony, but she makes it super high fashion, which I think that's what makes it work, is because it is so fashion, all of the layering and everything. I think it really comes together.
It made me stop and pause and think, wow, she's such an incredible drag artist that I didn't even notice that her looks were getting, or not even repetitive, because that's not even the right word, but that she was repeating a silhouette of some kind.
Yeah.
But I did like this interpretation of the reveal runway, because I hate a reveal runway.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Stop giving us reveals.
It almost feels like a mix of the reveal runway and a little bit of the Born Naked.
Yeah,
but just not as like awful. You know?
Not as nude.
Yeah, not as nude delusion.
We got Hungry as a judge.
Yes.
That was cool.
And okay, well, also the whole panel looked so good.
They looked incredible. They knew Hungry was going to be there.
Right.
So they were like, we have to be good. We can't slack right now.
Yeah.
Pangina, put away those blue eyebrows
I was about to say, Pangina thought about that mug she did the other day, and she was like, no, never again. Because they all looked right.
We didn't talk about, by the way, that Pangina during the Hollywood episode did her Mariah Carey that she did during Snatch Game.
Oh my God, yeah. Wait.
We forgot to talk about that. I just remembered. Sorry, I was thinking about Pangina.
Dark-sided foreshadowing.
Okay. So Angelique does like a Naomi Campbell type look. Tormai's a mess. Just a mess.
Oh my God, yeah.
Srimala,
oh my God.
I thought was really insane.
The boobies.
With that blonde hair and the breastplate lines on the shoulder and on the neck.
Yeah.
With that bait.
And also just like that wig with her brows. It was giving me the ants and James and the Giant Peach.
Sponge and Spiker.
Yeah, like there's just like something kind of sinister. Because it's like, you know how like, but it's that thing when like the girl who is not sexy tries to be sexy and they look evil.
She did. She looked like her demon from the acting challenge, but blonde.
Oh God, yeah. The wig was rough. And then she went into the like Ariana Grande Dangerous Woman. When that headpiece was everywhere, the bunny mask that like went all the way down. I was just thinking about that when I was Halloween shopping this past October. I was like, remember when that was everywhere?
Yeah. Yeah, so I honestly, I don't think that Srimala should have been in the bottom. I mean, I understood why Tormai was there because her runway was wretched, but like her snatch game was funny, so like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it could have gone so many different ways of who could have been in that bottom.
Yeah.
Because it was such a chaotic snatch game, and it was such a chaotic runway. I fully thought Srimala didn't deserve it, but that's me being an apologist for her once again. The song they do is Getcha Yaya. And I thought that was crazy. Yes. Neither one of them speak English.
So that's the thing about the English lip syncs, because they do it so often, and it's like they've been lucky that a lot of the times, and just in general, most of their lip sync assassins at least are familiar with English. But
Srimala's got like a comprehension.
And this is like at least like a RuPaul song you can do, even if it's not your first language, because RuPaul songs, unless it's like Call Me Mother, I feel like they're pretty like surface level.
Yeah. Who do you think you are?
But
who do you think you are?
But
you're telling me that those are not award-winning lyrics?
But I mean, to make them lip sync, It's a song with 4 different women on
Yeah.
it. And one of them is rapping.
Yes.
Like,
it's crazy.
Because that song is already kind of hard because you have like a belting part, you have a rapping part, you have 2 different styles of singing. So it's already a challenge. Because even like when we've seen it done on like US Drag Race, we haven't seen like an incredible performance of it. And it's a really good song.
Yeah.
I know it's a drag queen favorite.
It is. This is everywhere.
Yeah, especially in a group number, you know.
Right. I thought Srimala kind of ate.
I mean, it's kind of like if you don't know the words all the way, performance up to 10.
Yeah.
And she was trying to like stay moving and stay performing and stay active, even if she didn't know all the words.
Yeah.
Well, there's parts where her mouth wasn't even moving at all, and I mouth fully closed during some parts. I was like, period.
That happens so often, I feel like, this season, where the girls are not lip syncing.
Yeah.
And they still scoot through, but maybe they just understand, like, they don't know every word. That moment where Srimala, like, kicks her arms up in the air, she's like dipping it.
Yeah, pussy dropping.
I died. It was
And it's just like, it looks so funny because like she's so tiny. And like it looks funny when a really tiny queen has like big titties and like big hips, like because it's mostly disproportionate, and it was just 2 like baseballs, like just like jumping
Not
around
baseballs,
because they were so like solid too. They're just
were
like
hard boobs.
big old round boobies.
It was a hard breastplate in General Mama. The Chaos Train is not over yet because Tormai gets eliminated. And they go to celebrate the top 4, and Pangina leans in a very, like, you just won the Oscar moment. And Art goes, oh, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. And then says, you know what? We think we've eliminated some people too early. So, introducing back to the competition is Candy Zionide and Kana Warrior. What did you think about the 2 of them coming back?
I'm so happy about Candy.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Candy Zionide I'm obsessed with.
The first episode was... I feel like we were talking about Vonda so much because Candy was gone, so we had no one else to talk about. Because I love Candy.
Obsessed with this woman. Kana was so weird to bring back. She lip synced 3 times.
Right. But that even while she was... Okay, I was going to say, but they seemed to really like her, but then the way they eliminated her, so it's like, they seemed to hate her when they sent her home.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was the other thing, is she left on kind of like...
A sour note.
Yeah. So it did feel weird to bring her back.
Who would you have brought back?
Well, do we need to bring 2 people back? First of all, that was weird because that's the only time. Well, I guess Daya and Orion.
Yeah.
But like top 4 to top 6.
Yes.
That is crazy.
Insane.
Well, and I mean, it's hard because my first thought was like, who would I want to see back would be probably Gimwei.
Yeah, but she cheated.
So then it's like, well, you can't do that.
Maybe Jeannie.
I was thinking Jeannie too, but then also like when she left, it felt like, well, time's up, girly.
Yeah,
but
she was very defeated.
But I also, so like she left on a way that felt very final, I guess. But I also love Jeannie, so it's hard. But I mean, the only one I really cared to see back was Candy.
Yeah, I didn't think that Candy should have gone home that first time, but also I didn't think that Srimala should have either. That, in my opinion, should have been all 3 of them were safe because they were all really good. And I mean, like, did it feel rigged to you that these 2 come back and make it to top 3? Did it feel overproduced at all to you?
Well, it did for Kana for me. I think Kana's presence in general, because at least for Candy, and we're about to talk about it, she comes back and immediately eats.
She has fire.
She comes back and chews it up right away.
In a way we've never seen from another girl before.
Yeah.
That's come back.
So, and that was, we're about to get to it. So gratifying to see because you see a really satisfying comeback.
Right.
But I feel like you never got that moment with Kana with the rest of her time when she comes back to the competition. It's like she's back and then she just kind of skates her way through. Oh, that's harsh. Sorry.
But she does.
Yeah.
It's true. She's not listening. Well, maybe she is.
Who did I say was listening earlier? Mocha Diva?
Mocha Diva.
I don't know.
Well, so the next episode is the musical, and it's a Thai musical. The thing that I thought was gaggy was that this was not about Drag Race. It was about women going to work. And there's a hot CEO who everybody wants to fuck.
Don't worry about the plot too much.
But
don't
then
worry.
the narrator fucks the CEO. Yeah. What was that?
Don't worry about the plot too much.
I am worried about the plot. It was so weird.
Because
it was 5 minutes.
It was
They had a whole studio.
This was a short film. Well, also the way it was shot.
So they got rehearsals before in a full like sound stage with props, with like a full desk and computers and a bed. There was like a whole stage that was set up like this was going to be a movie.
And also, wasn't it like something like a 4-hour turnaround?
Yeah.
Something crazy. The things I wrote down were one take, all caps, question mark. So chaotic, but in the best way.
Yeah.
This was the other thing I really liked about it. No cutaways.
Yes.
Didn't see the judges' faces. Didn't see them like sour face or laughing. Like, it just like you got to see that musical from start to finish, uninterrupted, without being spoon-fed how you're supposed to feel about everyone's performance. Because I feel like it was easy enough to discern just by watching it.
Right, exactly. I loved the filming and I loved the production of it.
Yeah.
But the musical itself was weird.
It was weird. It was messy. But
Candy has one line, and she like literally starts at the top of the stairs, scoots down on her pussy from top to bottom, screaming. Says one line, and that's it.
And then her other part that I remember is it Kana that she like throws off the bed?
Yes!
And, like, and then, like,
was it Vanda? Vanda was on the bed.
Oh, it was her. Yeah, she like pushes her off the bed, and, like twirls on. But she did so good with so little in that. I mean, that is like the part I think about the most from the musical is her just delivering that and then like sliding down screaming. It's so crazy.
Chaos.
And that's why we need practical sets, because we need tomfoolery like that.
Yes.
You can't do that with a green screen.
No. It was the most wild thing in the entire universe. And this is where the chaos train is starting to slow down.
Yeah.
And it's almost at the end. The runway theme is a famous Thai country singer named Phum Phuong. And I really liked this runway theme because this is clearly someone who's very important to Thailand.
Yeah.
And who's important to the culture. And I appreciated that they recognized that and paid homage to the fungus, as a famous queen once said. Homage to this performer. They all looked beautiful. Vanda's silhouette made me melt.
It's one of those. Oh yeah,
that leopard print with the big hair,
and with like, was it a boot that went all the way up?
All the way up to her pussy.
Pussy boot.
Pussy boot.
Pussy boot.
Pussy boot.
Well, also wasn't like. Was it all the same cheetah? Because didn't she like mix two different like prints of cheetah or something? And I liked that because it was a different tone. So it was like a fun mix and match. But I feel like, again, don't know this woman, the person they're doing. I know who Vanda is.
I don't know who Vanda is.
I don't know who this woman is, but yeah, you can tell that it seems like they all revere her, respect her.
Right.
She
Even
seems
Vanda,
to be,
who didn't know her.
Yeah, it seems to be an important figure. Yeah. And it's funny that Vanda didn't know her and had one of my favorite looks for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems to be someone, and yeah, I think it seemed like the judges, the panel, like also enjoyed this woman by like their reactions to the looks as well.
Like crying over them.
Yeah.
Like literally crying because this woman had passed away at this point, and she had already been gone for a while, and they were like just in hysterics over these looks, like loving them. And I thought that was also really nice, and one of my favorite things about this particular Drag Race is that the judges are so involved in the runway. Yeah. They're not just making quick digs at the girls.
This was also kind of just an emotional episode. I feel like the emotion carried over like into the lip sync as well. So I feel like maybe that was part of it. Yeah. Because they were already so emotional about this woman and the runway and the tribute. Right. So I feel like...
And the chaos that's been going on for the last 4 episodes, that's finally stopping. And it feels like this was the first episode for 4. Not even just in this podcast, but just watching it, where I felt like, oh, I can breathe again.
Yeah.
Because it was just like heavy breathing for 4 episodes from that moment that fucking Darth Vader Voldemort walked out.
She cast a hex.
Yeah, it was literally just like... The whole time I felt so stressed. We get to the runway, or to the lip sync. Angeli and Kana are in the bottom. This is Kana's 4th time in the bottom.
First week back,
already in the bottom. And she goes on this speech about how she wants Angeli to stay. That she doesn't even want to be there anymore. Because it's not fair that she were to come back and then maybe send Angeli home. What did you think about that?
I'm like...
Say it. Speak your truth. Spill.
So, be
brave.
I think out of context, if you watch the speech in the moment, you're like, oh, it's so sweet. Mm-hmm. Like, that's really commendable of her. It's a little more frustrating if you realize that she just got asked back the week prior. I think that's what's weird about it. Because if it was like she had been in the competition, this is her 3rd, 4th lip sync, and she hasn't been sent home yet, she's like... I'm going to go home.
Right.
Like, it's a wrap, y'all. I do think that what she's saying makes sense.
Right.
And, like, I still think what she's saying makes sense, but it is just a little, because you just got asked back, so it does feel, I don't know if, I mean, she was very respectful about it, but it does feel a little like, well, why did you come back then?
Right. If you wanted to just go as soon as you ended up in the bottom,
or maybe why did you bother? Just because she loved Angeli so much, because, like,
maybe.
Same.
But, I mean, she also points out that Angeli gave her a bad role. Because Angeli divvies out the roles, and Angeli specifically gave her a bad role so that she'd be in the bottom.
So it wasn't even like, she didn't even have the, like, she gave me a bad role, I'm going to send this bitch home. Like,
right. It was like, well, despite her giving me a bad role, like, I just don't want to send her home because she's worked hard. Yeah. I got it, but, like, Pangina cries, the guest judge fights, and is like, if you survive tonight, people all around the world are going to see your story and they'll be inspired by you. And that is some shit that RuPaul would never do. The judges would never do that. Ru would be like, shut up. Yeah. I'm going to yell at you. And, like, I like that all of them, even Pangina, really fought, but then Art kicks her in the butt and says, you can kill me, but you are not going to make a fool out of me. I got chills, Jess. I got chills. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to steal that. You can kill me, but you can't make a fool of me. Bitch, that was so fierce. Period. And goes, so what do you want to do? And Kana's like, well, I guess I'll fight for it. We'll lip sync.
Yeah, right.
And it was a cute lip sync. They, like, did moves from the musical. They, like, did their little dance that they did in there.
It was a very cute lip sync. Well, and also, like, because this is our first time seeing Angeli lip sync, right?
I think she had lip sync earlier in the season, but I could be completely wrong.
Maybe so. I can't really remember. Oh, maybe she might have. I feel like she's like...
I feel like she lip sync early.
But I feel like she's been doing so good at this point. She's been, like, a really good, like, steady...
She's been so consistent all season.
Yeah, consistent, beautiful, always has a good runway presentation.
Glamour.
Yeah, so I feel like she's been like kind of a front runner up until this point, and then she does a really good performance. I feel like she could have won if they hadn't had the interaction they had.
Yeah.
Because she immediately is turning it out, and she's very like active and like having a lot of like cute moments.
I do want to say that look from Art is burned in my brain. That white, like, slicked hair with the big dreads. Or the locks all on top.
Is that what Tormai was trying to do the other week? Like,
I don't know.
Because doesn't it look like a 1,000 times better version of...
We'll get to that soon, because I'm so confused. Or Kana was so confused by that. We'll get to the locks soon, because that happens very
that
recent.
too. I was thinking of that mess wig Tormai wore the other week.
Oh!
That thing that, from her reveal yourself, those were like tentacles. I don't know what that was.
But yeah,
it's that, but also the locks.
They were beautiful on her. I thought she looked good. But they're both safe. What did you think about the double safe? I didn't totally agree. I thought it was cute, but I thought Kana should have been out.
It's hard because it's like you asked to leave and then you held your own, but I do think Angeli gave such a solid performance. It's not like she whooped Kana's butt, but like Angeli gave her a really solid, really consistent, really active, present performance that I think was solo win worthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a choice.
It was a choice. I would have saved that double save for another episode.
Oh, did we talk about... Did this already happen? Where they ask who should be in the top 3 with you when it's like still 6 of them?
Oh, I think... Maybe
or does that
doesn't
happen next
Maybe
episode?
That happens next.
Because that also was weird when they asked them who should be in the top 3 with you, but the next episode wasn't the top 3. I remembered that. But anyways, Kanna's thing just feels weird because it's like you came back and then you're like, you should send me home. It's like, no, you should fight for it. Okay. And then she fought for it.
Okay, I guess.
And then she fought for it, and then the person also fought for it and deserved to win.
Yeah.
But they're like, you're gonna win too.
It was a little bit weird, and it was the first time all season that I felt like that's rigoroni to me. Something is weird to... That was weird for me.
That was strange. Kanna saw Art kill somebody.
Yeah. And held it over.
Yeah.
She like sent her a letter with the clippings from a magazine and the individual letters. I know what you did last week. Keep me in the competition or I'm going to tell the news.
But like such a weird dichotomy of like the 2 girls that come back, one wins the challenge and then the other one almost goes home.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird.
So strange. What a weird trajectory for Kanna, lip syncing a 4th time. Okay, I said that the chaos train was over, but I lied. It has one more
Someone
crazy
hasn't set
stop.
themselves on fire yet.
No, there's 2 more crazy things. So the next episode, the Maxi Challenge is to do a dance performance for old people and teach them how to dance and do exercise.
Which, like, this feels like a mini challenge.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
What is this? It was the weirdest thing in the entire universe. It was so strange. They're in day drag in front of old people, dancing around with them. But then they come back to the runway and their family and friends are there. And it was like not even like close family, like someone's second cousin, like Vanda's second cousin is there or something.
Scraping the bottom of the
Like, it was the weirdest situation of people being there. So they find out that they have to do makeovers for the runway.
Yeah.
2 gigantic weird challenges that were so disjointed from each other. One less chaos train.
Because then, the old people were gone, right?
Yeah, the old people were gone.
Because then you're like, are they gonna make over the old people? No.
No, they did nothing with those old people. Just had to teach them how to dance for some reason. It was almost like, I don't know, like Boniva sponsored them and were like, hey, can you go out or the Sunrise retirement home is going to give you some money.
Right. And
go hang out with these old people.
And like, what a awful redemption for Kanna. Like, yeah, you won the challenge, but like that's the challenge you won. Like, my comeback. I helped the old people work out.
Right. They come back to do the makeovers, and it was on the runway. The last chaotic thing before it finally stops. Candy lights herself on fire. And then she pulls out a stuffed crocodile and kills it.
After
lighting herself on fire.
Which, like, girl.
To burn her costume off. And she was like, her mom was coming out from behind the stage right after she lit herself on fire. And she yells, Mom, is my face on fire? And the mom is just like thinking it's a part of the bit. And it's just like excited. It's like, yes, let's keep going. And Candy legitimately is like, wait, no, I need to know if I'm burned, though. Like, I don't know if I'm burned.
Because doesn't she go to the hospital? Do they talk about it in the episode?
I think they talk about it in the reunion. I think the medics did see her because she got a little bit stressed that she got hurt. She was fine, but God, that was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It had nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
And her reaction, it's very much Tia talking about Gothy of like, I should be concerned that you're so relieved that it worked, because her reaction to all of it was like, I don't even know if you thought this was gonna work. Right. It seemed like she kind of just like, I think I'm gonna try burning it off. Like,
because didn't somebody light themselves on fire in season 1 of Thailand?
Yes, which also was not. It's not like that was a triumphant moment.
Why are they burning themselves on Thailand?
Because I honestly feel like the first time was quite similar, where it was like, No, the season 1 girl was the one who had to go to the hospital. The season she just had to see medics. You said, right?
Just to make sure.
The season 1 girl had to go to the hospital. That's what I'm thinking of. Because hers was she literally like jumped up for a minute. Was like, ah!
That's insane.
Like I think at least I will say at least Candy I think carried herself even better than the season.
Right.
I think she actually carried herself better than the first season girl, which is saying something. Because yeah, I don't know why she saw that on the first season and was like, I'm gonna try that. Maybe she thought she could do it better.
She wasn't the only one, because Kana also does fire. She did like a weird Power Ranger thing, and then had fire. And I thought she was bottom. She was the worst for me. She was terrible.
Okay.
Srimala does like a Sailor Moon cosplay, which was cute.
Yeah,
it was
I liked
badly rehearsed though.
Yeah, but I loved their wigs. Their little like puffy pink. She had the pink wigs, right? That were like big.
Vanda did like a weird like Ice Queen mouse thing, which was so strange. I wrote in my notes, protecting queer art.
For Vanda's like?
Yes. It was so weird. They were trying to like be anti-school bullies or something. Like,
but it was just...
it was so weird. Like, what did that have to do with superheroes?
Yeah, it was not superhero at all. It felt very Frozen.
It was so weird. And then Angelique does like a basic bathing suit, and she should have been in the bottom as well. Hers was
and
awful.
I love Angelique, but that was so egregious because it was just like the same bathing suit, and it was like pink and blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like the worst version of when they do the like matching looks for for makeovers. I was very frustrated.
I was offended. And then Bandit does a person with no powers. I didn't understand at all. I was so confused by literally all of it. Like, the only cohesive one, in my opinion, was Candy, but even then it was still weird.
Yeah.
Like, this could have easily been a bottom 5. This was a really rotten week.
Fair. Yeah. Well, yeah, makeovers are so hard. I like Bandits. What do you think of Bandits?
I thought it was ugly. I
thought it was
really ugly.
Well, I'm not going to talk about... I didn't think any of them were cute. I
think Srimala's was cute, but just the rehearsal itself was bad.
Was cute in like a look at she It wasn't cute in like a way. But
nobody was yes.
Nobody was yes, but I thought at least Bandits was cohesive. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
The bottom 2 is Candy, or I'm sorry, not Candy. It's Vanda and Srimala. And I wrote down in my notes, I hate this because these are my 2 favorites.
Yeah, this is like the worst possible bottom 2. And also like, well,
it's the worst song.
It's rough because the person I feel should have been there, I also wouldn't want to be there because it would have been... Yeah, because it probably would have been her and Vanda, right?
Yeah, Vanda was the clear bottom for me, and I thought Angelique should have been there too. Do you think that Vanda would have sent Angelique home? To This Is Real, This Is Me. I hate that song.
I feel like Angelique could... I feel like she could have kind of turned it. I don't know. I feel like it... Like... I feel like she could have given this vulnerable woman moment, maybe. But after coming off of last week, they could have been like, well, you were just in the bottom last week. Which I'm also surprised she wasn't in the bottom for that reason. Like,
right.
They should have been a little tougher on her, I think.
They are tough on everybody, but it was almost like they had a little fragile glass sticker on Angelique.
Yeah.
And again, this is like the only point in the competition, these last 2 episodes have been the only points where I've been like, something feels production heavy about these moments, like Kana slipping through, Angelique slipping through, but Srimala's out, and I hated this, and I wrote rigged.
I didn't feel like this was her most I deserve to go moment of the season. Well, because it's interesting, because I think she had maybe bigger flubs in other moments where she was in the bottom.
Right.
But I think she also like had a bigger like come through moment in the lip sync. But what can you do with this song?
No, nothing.
And I don't think this kind of earnest like song is really works with Srimala's character.
No, not at all. And I mean, she's been in the bottom so many times. But also, it was just a bummer.
I feel like the song didn't really go with like their looks.
No.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I hate when the runway is a very specific theme and the song seems like they completely forgot about that.
If they were going to do an English song to family superheroes, why wasn't it I Need a Hero?
I Need a Hero.
They're not afraid of using those songs.
Yeah, or just do like something upbeat. You know?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, I don't know. I just feel like when it feels a little just disjointed, like you're doing this song in this outfit, that's kind of how I felt with this lip sync song as superheroes. It didn't feel correct.
This song could have been The White Elephant, which is next.
Yeah.
So the final episode before the finale is called White Elephants, and they have to write lyrics for a music video to I Will Survive.
Okay, yeah, not a RuPaul song.
Not a RuPaul song, not even
an
a Thailand original. I Will Survive. And they have to do the lyrics to I Will Survive clunkily over each other. So it's like them being like, I will survive, I will survive. But like they're mixed badly. The whole song was awful.
Is there just like a licensing thing with that song?
Because this is the second time, right?
Well, just because it seems to be used a lot by, like, and covered a lot and
Maybe.
like featured a lot. So I wonder if that's just an easy song to fetch.
Maybe. It's got to be a cheap one. I didn't love this challenge, and I kind of, like, I don't mind skimming it. The only thing I liked was Vanda's I'll come for you, but not for free line.
Period.
Everything else was so, like, blah.
My thoughts on it are it feels like they were trying to do a US Drag Race challenge.
Very much so.
Within like their means, and
They were in a boxing ring and were fighting for the crown. Candy looked fierce though in that red. She was the only one who gave like a true performance outfit.
Yeah.
I think the real sleeper of this episode is that Kana comes out in locks out of nowhere. Like walks in the workroom with dyed gray locks, and Kana's hair was like buzzed.
Yeah.
In the episode
it's like,
before.
where did those come from?
And they looked like they were growing out of her head.
Did
like,
those? Yeah. Yeah.
They
Out
were
fresh out the scalp.
Yeah, they were like tied into her hair, I think.
Yeah.
But when did they have time to send her to the salon to get that tied in? Like, it was just really strange. And then to dye them that weird gray and then slick them back like Sonic the Hedgehog was so weird. That was like the sleeper. What did you think about the runways?
This is such a niche reference, but in the original Cats musical, there's this part where they're dressing up as they're called something else, but they're the cat's perceptions of pugs and one other dog. It's like a Pomeranian or something. And they wear these giant like fabric headpieces. And it was giving me that. Like especially Angelique and was it Bandit? Who were doing those the elephant heads, but especially Angelique's that huge fabric elephant head, and one other person had it with like the more severe tusks.
Yeah. It's like inspired by Darian.
Yeah, I was literally thinking Darian Lake's influence.
Yeah.
Of all color runways, white is probably my least favorite. I hate an all white runway.
Angelic White in All Stars 4 was really nice.
That one was fierce.
Having it be animal themed too is kind of nice though, in my opinion. But I thought it was weird that they did another white look because they already did the white dress for Holly Festival in episode 2. Yeah. So it was like, I wish we had done another color.
Who was the one that had the like chandelier kind of like beading? Was that Candy or was that Vanda?
Candy had a beautiful one where she was like riding the elephant, but then the back had nothing on it.
Yes. Candy had again a really strong showing this
really
episode.
Good runway package coming back.
She really is just comeback hitting. It kind of is like it gives like Bimini after she came back from the break, kind of like revitalize. I know what I need to do,
and I'm going to win. I studied, and I'm not going to go home this time. We have another, in my opinion, moment of production because both Kana and Candy go to the finale, are immediately called to go to the finale.
And isn't that such a gag?
That they were the ones brought back.
And they're two-thirds of the final.
Candy made sense to me.
Candy made sense.
Because she came back with fire.
And yeah, she's done so good. But Kana's like presence and run since she came back has been so weird.
Just like a huge question mark.
But I feel like at the same time, if she had been in the bottom, she would have been in one of the two going home. So I almost feel like that's why she went straight through. Because she wouldn't have made it through the lip sync.
You know who she reminds me a lot of is Carmen Carrera. She's got a lot of that vibe to her. Like, the
Oh.
judges clearly saw something that I don't know if the audience necessarily saw.
Yeah.
And they loved it. And, like, I couldn't imagine a universe where, like, Carmen and Raja were both safe for that lip sync. And then, like, immediately it's like, all right, Yara goes home, Alexis goes home. And then it's like Carmen, Manila, Raja. I could not imagine a universe with that because she's so blah, and I thought that Kana was so blah all season. But I mean, her runway talking about about animal cruelty and ripping out the tusks and wailing. I thought it was such a beautiful
Yeah.
presentation, and I think that was nice. But looking at the whole package of who's going to go to the finale, I feel like your whole season has to be looked at, not just how you did in that final challenge.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and like for me, Angeli and Vanda made the most sense to go on because they were so consistent all season.
Yeah.
And then maybe Candy would fight for it. But the two of them are pressed through. And then it's Bandit, Angeli, and Vanda that have to lip sync to go to get that third spot. And it's
Yeah.
Angeli. I love Vanda, so I was bummed. But
Yeah.
I also love Angeli, so I wasn't.
And it felt correct because, I mean, Angeli's been such a force this whole season. What'd you think about Thailand getting a Selena song before US did? Because it was a Selena Quintanilla song, wasn't it?
Was it? It was Last Dance remix.
I'm pretty sure it's a Selena cover. So I mean,
Was
not
it?
not an OG.
I just wrote that it was a Last Dance remix, but I didn't know who it was because they don't show.
Oh,
They never show
yeah.
who actually sang it.
I'm pretty sure it was a remix sung by Valentina herself, Selena Quintanilla.
Not Valentina. It was a weird finale song, or like a weird like go to the crown song to me.
It felt. I will say I feel like Last Dance and I Will Survive felt harmonious, but nothing else about this
Yeah.
episode felt harmonious.
It was strange to get to the end, but that's maybe just a cultural difference that maybe it made sense to them because of something. But I don't know if we need to talk too much about the reunion. I think the only thing that I thought was important was that they address why they choose songs and they choose them ahead of time and just plant them on the actual episode, and whoever lands in the bottom gets that song. And I thought it was kind of like low-key shade that Pangina did to Rue, saying, well, we don't pick. Oh, we know that you're going to be in the bottom, so we're going to give you this song.
Right.
That felt so loud and pointed.
Like, this is a call out.
Yes. That was, I think, the most important thing. And then they talk about the Gimhue thing, and she apologizes and is super gracious about it all, and her and
Yeah.
Milka are friends. So, like, there's no bad blood between them, which I thought was nice to address, because I would be pissed.
Yeah, I thought Gimhue had such a good attitude about it, and I think that kind of helps her preserve how well liked she is.
Right.
Because I think that people who liked you and or even like, oh, you didn't need to be disqualified for that, seeing how good of a sport she is about it,
Right.
which she didn't have to be. I think.
She could have been awful about it.
Yeah.
Easily. So, the finale.
Yes.
I have a lot of question marks about it, but let's just talk about the main parts of the finale and the difference of how they structured this, where the top three have to create their own show, whatever they want it to be.
Yes.
I loved that so much more than what they do for top three now.
Yes.
And in any season. This was, to me, the most, like, that feels like a drag queen finale moment. Like, that feels like a genuine moment that's happening.
Totally. Well, and it feels more like just a true reality show competition, specifically reality show competition ending. Because most of the times, like whether it be Top Model or like Project Runway, it's usually every challenge is a specific do your thing in these parameters. And then the final challenge is, so what would you do if you had no parameters?
Yeah.
What do you do just every day? What is your thing? And this is very much, I think, indicative of that kind of thing where it's like you're giving more so that final presentation that just sort of reflects your body of work, your style.
Yeah.
Because like this is, because they do like a whisper of it where you do like a number in US. But like, how cool would it be to see like Sasha Colby do this, Anitra do this, where like you set the whole thing up, and like I don't know. I think it also like it reflects back to how the judges interacted with the queens and the challenges of that amount of feedback and interaction and involvement.
Right.
The queens have now with their own body of work, because it's like it's their own challenge and they're kind of judging it for themselves now to be how they want it to be for the final package. So I feel like they gave them the level of care and control that they've had over the season.
Yeah. It felt like they really were encouraging them to do their best, not just like, let's rig it for you.
Exactly. Win. Like, we're going to give you the best written number. Because it's always...
G-O-D-D-E-S-S.
Because it's always kind of hard when it's like, oh, well, so this number was written for them. This was choreographed for them. What did they do?
Right. What were they involved in? It's like when they gave Bob that really cool I like to show off, and then they just give Naomi legs because of one offhand comment that she made, but not really anything else. Like, legs is still fierce, but it's not as good as I like to show off or Fat Femination. It's not anywhere near as fierce as those, in my opinion. But I do want to talk about RuPaul making an announcement to say that she was proud of the Thailand girls for representing the world and a season of Drag Race, and says, on delay, on nong.
On delay. Coffee enema had hit.
Was she filming UK at the time? Because it looked like the UK background to me.
It seemed like it. You know she was multitasking.
Candy Cyanide. Kana Warrior. How do you mess these words up?
Right? The way that she said the English words as if they were English. Like Candy Cyanide, that's candy.
Yeah.
And then it's a play on cyanide.
Yes.
Those are two English words.
She was trying so hard to like...
Candy Cyanide.
Cyanide. On delay. How do you mess up Angeli? Angeli is a word that is in English.
It was like trying to give like voice recognition password. Like the way she was inputting it.
Yes, I hate that. You're so right, and I hate it. That's dark-sided. So yeah, that was a moment that happened, and I thought it needed to be brought up. I think the only thing that I really thought was interesting about this finale was Angelique's number. She does this whole thing where she like strips down nude. She's battling demons. She like falls in her dad's lap, but then gets up and has a dress put on her, and she's like fighting the demons and wins and is victorious, and it was so emotional.
Yeah.
In a way that I've never thought that I'd get emotional from a Drag Race number. Where, like, Candy came out and just did, like, a fierce dance with hot guys and then, like, beat them up and shot them. And the song was about how she was so upset. It was so weird. I'm like, why are you killing?
What's going on, girl?
Why are you killing them?
Can't do what demons are you fighting?
And then Kana did, like, some weird live singing, which wasn't good. Some acrobatics and aerials, and then put on ugly armor. And it was just a horrible performance. And I'm like, if Vonda was there, she would have ate.
Vonda's would have been so good. I feel like Kana should have cut the singing, and
she could have cut the whole number.
I feel like she should have done more of the acrobatics, like fun stuff, because I feel like that's more her character too.
Yeah.
I don't really associate her with live singing. The armor stuff, I guess warrior, but it was still weird.
It was only half armor. It wasn't even that good. It was all bad.
I feel like she should have just done more kind of like that acrobatic, kind of like fight dancing, you know? Mm-hmm. I love fight dancing.
It was Derek Barry showing up to that billboards wearing a bathing suit.
Yeah, I feel like hers felt unique, but for the wrong reason.
Yes.
Whereas Candy's, I love Candy, but it did feel very generic, I will say. Not very, but it felt the most like to be expected of a Drag Race number of like she came out, she danced. Whereas I feel like...
But why did she beat up those boys' chests?
That part I don't know.
Why was she angry? Why was the song about
because she knew she wasn't going to win.
Do you think it was rigged that the two of the girls who were in the bottom and came back to the competition were against the one who had the most wins? Be so real, because I did. I'm like, this was completely, like, I love Angelique, but if it had been, like, Angelique, Vonda, maybe even Bandit or Srimala, like,
Yeah.
it would have felt more even and fair because,
I
like,
see
all of
what you
them fought.
mean.
But, like, these are two girls who got sent home for a reason.
And I mean, but I think even Vonda swapped with Kana would have been more interesting because, like, at least Candy has recent momentum. Vonda has competition wide interest and
Right.
power. And then Angeli is like, I keep going back between calling her Angeli and Anjali. Like Ingenue.
Anjali, Andale,
I'm gonna start calling her Andale. Andale.
Ingenue.
Andale Ingenue. She, I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Oh, Vonda was there. Instead
Oh
of
yeah,
Kana.
Vonda had like a good like presence all season, and like Andale is obvious, kind of the obvious like front runner. Oh well, she's obviously gonna win vibe. But I feel like Vonda would have been the more fun, like, well, what if she wins? Like, she could take it from under her, you know?
I would have loved that. It would have made me happy. And then they do a final runway look, and that's an important part of their scoring.
Yes.
I thought that was really cool. Vanda, Srimala, and Bandit come out and do a little bit of a show, like a little last finale number. And then they crown Angelique.
Yes.
I was not surprised. I'm like,
No.
Candy's not going to win. Her number was so weird, and then her runway was fine. And there's no way Kana's going to win. Like, it felt to me, in, like, the most respectful way, a season 8. Like, Naomi's not going to win. She has one challenge win. There's no way. And, like, Kim is great, but RuPaul clearly is not feeling her because she hasn't come out to her family. Bob is the winner.
Yeah.
Like, no one else is going to win but Bob. Like, it's so crazy to think that anybody else could. And that's how it felt for Angelique. Like, there's just no way she's going to lose.
No, she was so solid all season. And even in her low, she, like, still, like, represented herself well.
Right.
It was one of those things where, like, even when you were in the bottom, it wasn't, like, a low point for you. Like, you still were able to, like, have a good showing. And, like, I mean, she, like, dominated this season. She had so many wins.
Yeah.
And I mean, trans excellence.
Yes.
Really good trans excellence. And really, one of the earliest, was she our first trans winner?
Yes.
2019, she's our first trans, which
believe
is
so.
really crazy of Thailand because season 1 they gave us our first plus size winner, which are
breaking
kind
barriers.
of first plus size winner and then first trans winner.
And they mentioned a couple episodes ago, and I was just reminded that Art tells her, and maybe it's Pangina, how proud she is of her and how she should be so proud of herself for her trans excellence on the show. And that is something that Rue wouldn't ever do either. Rue has told the girls that are trans, like, oh, I'm just proud of you and you're an icon, blah, 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 like she did with Sasha. But, like, I don't think Rue would ever acknowledge, like, you being a trans person is going to mean so much for other people that are trans in the world who don't feel like anybody's there to represent them.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was cool.
Well, and, like, she also, like, she knows herself so well and her brand and her IP.
Yeah.
And so it's always really cool to see that, like, that trans figure that, like, knows themselves so well, like Sasha.
Right.
Or, like, you'll see it if you watch Holland in the second season. I can't remember her name to save the life of... I feel like it's something Van something.
For season 2?
For season 2, yeah. But she's really fierce, and actually Andale and her have a similar energy. Where it's just this, like, really, like, untouchable, like... Not the matriarch, but, like, the, like... And not the auntie either, but just, like, that boss bitch of the room. Right. That's just, like, really powerful. Just has so much, like, power and energy around her in a room. That I think she's very, like, commanding.
She's cool. If she speaks English, right?
I believe so.
Like, at least decently. I would love to see her on an All Winners. I think she would be so fierce on there.
Well, and I would love to, if not feature more international girlies, on All Winners have an international All Winners. Yeah. Like a All Winners kind of versus the world.
Priyanka, Anjali.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, that'd be so good. A couple of the Spania girlies.
Yes.
Oh, do you know one other thing I wanted to talk about from this reunion randomly that I liked? Yeah. Was it Jeannie that had the lucky cat?
Yes, it was so weird.
It was so... wasn't perfectly executed, but I live for her little lucky cat. That was all. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna ask you, is there anybody from this cast that you would love to see on a Versus the World? Vonda, for sure. Yeah. I think Jeannie would be cute, but I just don't know if her drag suit's something that Rue would love, or even Brooke, if she's going to continue to host things.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, it comes down to the girlies who can speak English. Mm-hmm. So that does narrow it down. Then
it does, yeah,
unfortunately. But I mean, also, there are people like, some girlies, you never know. Some of them might be able to speak English now.
Yeah?
Or like, were able to speak English then and just didn't. Like, yeah. Like Arancha on a Versus the World, I didn't know she could speak English. I had no idea watching España. And then she showed up and I was like, you can speak English?
Yeah, I love it.
So, like, who knows? Maybe one of them will surprise. But, I mean, just in general, like, I think the most interesting, well, I won't say that, but Vonda, and then like...
I mean, for a rude television series, you have to have a level of personality that transcends just nightclub stuff. Like, you have to be big.
Well, and I think of that cast, regardless of language barrier, I think the ones that RuPaul would be interested in would be Vonda, Candy, Shrimala.
Absolutely.
I think Gimhwai.
Gimhwai, if she could speak solid English, Ru would
I think RuPaul would be fascinated with her as a drag queen.
Yes. Because her perspective is so pointed and specific, and there's very few people that come onto the show that just know who they are every time and deliver it.
Yeah.
I agree about Srimala. Srimala has like Jimbo Light energy, where like it's just that chaos that Ru really responds well to.
Yeah.
Nothing like her, but just has that level of chaos where she's like acting really normal while smizing and her eyes are bulging out of her head, and then she just sings a song.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
I think those are the people that RuPaul would probably enjoy the most. Mm-hmm. Like, that would make an impact with her.
Yeah. And I think Vonda would slay on a Versus the World.
Absolutely.
She would slay. She'd win, I think. I ran through the Drag Race simulator of Versus the World with, like, just Setter Jean, Vonda, Miss Jade So, like, just all the most bombastic people I could think of. And Vonda ended up winning. And I was like, this feels correct.
Period. Oh, I love Miss Jade, so I can't wait till we get to Philippines.
Yeah. I think next is UK 1.
Wow.
That's our next season we're on. Any final thoughts about Thailand season 2?
I mean, things we've already talked about, but I just love how different production is. It's a lot less like telling you what to feel, how to perceive things.
Yes, very much so.
And just more so like, here is the finished product. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
It feels a lot more like an earnest competition show, but it also has more of like presentational competition show. And I mean, I don't know what they have like in Thailand, but I think of something like Eurovision, where like we don't have as much of those types of competitive programming in the States.
Mm-hmm.
But there are those types of programming that are a little more presentational. That I feel like we get glimpses of that in other like international seasons like Thailand, and I enjoy that, where it just feels like we're getting like not the same TV show formula.
That is so refreshing.
Yeah.
The levels of chaos, I would love to scale back a little bit.
Yeah.
For season 3, like, give us mini maxi runway that all are cohesive,
like every episode be like the food episode.
Yes, night market into cooking and inspired, and then the runway be the food too. Like, that was such a beautiful episode through line. But then it's like old people, superhero runway, lighting on fire, weird lip sync song. Like, it was chaos. It was just chaos.
Yeah, messiana.
If you haven't watched the season, please, please, please go watch it on WoW Plus, because it's so worth it. This is a fantastic season. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back with UK 1 soon. The very first international with RuPaul. Ew. That's kind of weird to think of. This was the first international, but that's the first one that RuPaul is endorsing. Hosted. So it almost feels more like a stamp. Like, this is real now.
Yeah.
Like, the international franchise is about to boom.
Well, it's also interesting now because RuPaul's pulled out of Down Under, so now this remains the only other franchise that she hosts, if you don't count, the Versus the World All Stars, but UK and US, and that's it for her.
Yeah, and we really owe a lot to Thailand for opening up the doors to the international girlies And they, I think, established early, like, we don't have to be the mainline season. And I think that's nice. And it's just sad that they took such a long hiatus.
Yeah.
Because it was, 2018 that this probably recorded, dropped in 19. It's now 2024, and we are going to be getting one this year, right? A third season. That's a huge break.
Yeah, but it's exciting because I'm sure there's been so much more of a boom and new talent emerge in the Thailand drag scene.
I hope so.
So, and also all those other girls that would have been ready for season 3 in 2020 are now 4 years better.
Oh, that's right. The pandemic.
Right?
I wonder if that was what the break was for.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, because it was like break, and then Pangina did Versus the World, and then she was touring because she did Vegas for a while. Well, I think she's back in Vegas right now, like RN.
I think so, and she's doing more of her like hot food show with everybody.
Tongue Tied. I heard that's really good. Have you
watched it? I need to watch it.
Everyone watch Tongue Tied with Pangina Heels if you're also going to be on WoW Presents. That's her little talk show.
And then watch UK to catch up with us next time. But thank you for listening. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you very soon. Remember, you're doing a fantastic job. You're doing the best you can, and that is all you can do. I'll go bye.
Bye.